It doesn't feel like it, but we are actually approaching the endgame of the series, which is kind of wild to me. But with that said, everybody, hello! Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another one of our weekly Attack on Titan final season, discussion videos. Today we're talking all about episode 10, A Sound Argument. But before we get into the video proper, quick reminder if you haven't done so yet, to hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, set notifications to all, let all of AnyTube know that you're here, and without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So, I was gonna save this for the end of the video, but instead I'm gonna talk about it here. As you can probably tell by the thumbnail, and I might have even made the title the same thing, like we're in the endgame now. I didn't know how many episodes this season had until literally 5 minutes ago. Like, I don't typically look that, I typically do look that stuff up. Like, when I'm researching, basically, when a season's wrapping up, I start researching the next season, right? But usually, episode counts don't really show up until we get, like, an idea of what the Blu-rays are gonna look like in Japan, and then we get an idea of how many episodes it is, or they'll just come out and say it. Like, some shows have the common courtesy to come out and say how many episodes there is. So others don't, and so there's, like, a bit of this waiting period where you're not super sure how many episodes it's gonna get. So with Titan, this whole season, I just didn't do research, I'll be honest. Like, so I'm really kind of in the dark on a lot of, like, cast and crew and background information this whole season, not just Titan, but, like, the entire anime season. So, I didn't know what the episode count was, and me being foolish, apparently, I thought that this was gonna be, like, 25 episodes. It's 16, so there's 6 episodes left. I didn't know that, and now I'm not scared because they've been doing really well. It's just that I'm like, really? Because I feel like there's a lot of stuff, because I feel like the manga's still going, right? I think there's only like 3 or 2 chapters left, but I believe it's still going. So I'm like, really? 6? Okay. I don't know what to feel about that. Like, I assume, and this is my train of thought, and I'd love to hear what you guys think, mostly because I could use the reassurance that everything's gonna be fine. But my theory right now is that this is only like the first half of the season, right? And then we're getting like final season part 2 later, right? Like, that's my thought process, because I don't think they would just cut the series off like final season, boom, no ending, right? Like, or God forbid an anime original ending. I mean, that's going so well for Promised Neverland. So I really don't see MAPPA doing that. I can see, another thing that I saw, I believe this was, I can't remember who said this. I saw this on the timeline. The only reason I knew that it was 16 episodes was because I saw a tweet from Roger's Base about it. And I saw somebody else on the timeline mention that they think that there's going to be a movie. I'm not against that. I do kind of hope that they keep it television related, though. I only say that because I'm not a big fan of when shows do that, like when a show decides to just suddenly like go finish the series as a movie. I don't like that. Like, it started as a TV show, finish it as a TV show. You know what I mean? Like, that's my thing. I'm not against a movie, though, because again, like, with movies come much higher budgets and much more time to work on the thing. So I'm not necessarily against it. Like, think about what a movie finale would look like. Like, holy shit. Like, that would look amazing. So in terms of animation, and maybe even thematically, I don't know, because again, I really don't know where this manga's going. So, like, as with basically everything, in fact, as with everything outside of Tokyo Ghoul, I am anime only. So I do not know where we're going. I don't know if they can actually finish it in 6 episodes. I don't think they're gonna finish it in 6 episodes. Like, I really don't think they're going anime original and gonna wrap it up in 6. What I assume is that we're gonna have some sort of stopgap. Like, there's gonna be some point in the manga where they can finish telling the story, and then either come back with a final season part 2, or with final season the movie. You know what I mean? Like, Attack on Titan something, like the movie, right? And I would love to hear what you guys think about that in the comments, because for me, not against it. I don't really want it, though. But I do want to know what you guys think, because that seems really short. I don't know if we have the time, you know, to finish it, like, to end the season somewhere thematically in 6 episodes. I don't know. You know, like, you called it final season, so a lot of people like me were assuming that this was it. Not that it's getting a part 2 or that it's getting like a movie. I'm not against doing a part 2 though. Like, again, as I said, I think another big reason why I want a part 2 is just like for crying out loud. Like, I want a part 2 because for crying out loud, MAPPA, slow down. Like, MAPPA needs to slow down. Like, because here's the thing, right? Don't forget where MAPPA comes from, right? They come from Madhouse. When shit was really hitting the fan, they were getting projects left and right. It was too much. Don't become everything you hate. You know what I mean? Like, don't... That's not a knock against Madhouse. It's just that I don't want MAPPA to burn themselves out and literally not learn the lesson they learned when they started the studio. Like, I'm very concerned that MAPPA is going to burn themselves out. I don't think on Titan or Kaisen. My concern is whatever future projects they might work on. I don't want these animators to burn themselves out, you know? I talk about anime for a living, so if there's no anime, I'm not eating. But at the same time, I don't want them to I don't want them to literally work themselves to death. That's inhumane. You know, I want, if in a perfect world, every studio would treat their animators like KyoAni does, you know, like they would treat them with the respect and dignity they deserve and give them the time they need to work on the thing. And I do think that MAPPA is treading in a negative direction when it comes to that. I don't want to see MAPPA become like the naughty dog of like anime studios where it's just crunch, 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 crunch. You know, like I've heard horror stories. There's a viewer who worked at Zebek who told horror stories of what it was like to work there. I don't want to see the MAPPA team worked like that. I never want to see any studio worked like that. So that's another big reason why I'm not against them cutting the final season in 2 pieces. So I do hope that this is part 1, and then a part 2 comes later when they've got it down pat and they've worked to a point where they feel like they're happy with it, and I don't care how long that takes. That's where I kind of sit with it. And again, would love to hear what you guys think. I am JoJo, the zombie, and I am burdened with glorious purpose. And that purpose is to tell you to hit that subscribe button. I'll wait. Thank you. As for the episode, sorry. Again, we talk about the episodes here, but sometimes we go on tangents. You guys know that. But, and, you know, it's not always going to be episode-focused. How we had an entire video that barely focused on the episode and was instead talking about the idiots who were, like, attacking MAPPA employees, you know, on Twitter. So sometimes we're going to talk about stuff like that. But I do want to talk a little bit about the episode, because I think, to me, the biggest thing, and this was my big takeaway from the episode, there's a lot that happened with, like, Mikasa and everything, and I do think the Mikasa stuff is interesting. Because I want to know what the hell's up with the Ackermans in general, and what's up with, like, that little symbol. Like, I'm curious. Watashi ki ni narimasu. But the biggest thing for me, my big takeaway, was old Eren versus new Eren. And I've been feeling some kind of way about Eren for a bit now. My Eren got lost between Season 3 Part 2 and Final Season. And I don't know who this guy is. Like, I don't know who this Eren is, right? Because, again, we've seen Eren evolve over the years, right? Like, we've watched Eren kind of, you know, he gets less spurgy, you know, like, Titans! Like that kind of calms down as the show goes on. But I will say his change was shocking, right? Because, like, a lot of people, like, the growth for the character, I'm like, growth? Did I miss something? Like, 'cause, like, he was, like, Eren for a while, and then Season 3 Part 2 kind of made him a little bit more, like, this Eren, sort of. But then there's just, like, this huge jump where, like, after he kissed Historia's hand and saw everything, like, something in his brain, just, like, the synapses just all snapped, and he became this new Eren. But then we see through these flashbacks that, no, he very much was the Eren that we know, so something happened. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, something happened to turn Eren like this. And I gotta know what the hell, because, like, watching old Eren talk about how somebody has to inherit his founding titan, and he doesn't really want it to be Jean or Connie or Sasha. He doesn't want it to be those 3. And it can't be Mikasa, because Mikasa's part of this whole, like, Hizuru thing, right? So it can't be her. It can't be Armin. Because he's already got the friggin', like he's already got the Colossal Titan. So, you know, conundrum. Yet this new Eren, I don't know if he'd think twice about it. You know what I mean? Like if Jean said, like, I'll do it, he'd be like, all right. Or like he might even be like, no, not you, it'd be Connie. Right? Because that's another thing, too. When Jean stepped up, I was like, no, Johnny boy, I don't know about that. I don't necessarily want Jean to be a Titan. I don't really want Connie to be a Titan either. But between the two, I think I would pick Connie. Not because I want Connie to die in 13 years, but it's just like, I feel like Connie would be a better Titan, like especially an attack Titan, than Jean would be. Not doubting Jean at all, just saying that Connie seems more suited for it. I would have loved to have seen Sasha be a Titan, but alas, here we are. And it's just interesting to me that there's some event that took place, and it has to be him talking to Zeke, where he's suddenly more cold, right? Like, Connie even says, like, do you know what happened when I told him that Sasha died? And I knew this conversation was coming. Like, I knew this was going to happen when Connie brought up, like that Eren's changed. I knew the thing that he was going to reference was the fact that he laughed. Here's the thing, though. We have the benefit of being the audience, right? So we get to see what's in Eren's head. So the reason Eren laughed is because of course he would. Of course the last thing Sasha would say was meat, right? Like, of course. Or Nicolo. Like, I think Nicolo's gonna kill those guys, but we'll get that conversation for later. If you saw the Nicolo scene, you know what I'm talking about. I think that wine's not. Let's just say that wine's maybe a little bit more potent than it should be. But that's a conversation for next week. What I do know is this. I don't think Eren was laughing because he didn't care or he found it funny that Sasha died. I think he was laughing because his brain is goo right now. You know what I mean? Like, his nerves are at an 11. He just did something horrific. And, of course, Sasha's last word was meat. And all he could think about was the good times, and he laughed. And when Jean, again, kind of rightfully points out, Eren, this is your fault. Don't forget, Eren looked shaken by that. Like, that hurt him to hear that. So do I think that Eren genuinely doesn't care about them anymore? No. Do I understand why Connie is saying that? Yeah, I really do. Because this Eren, he's badass, he's cool, but that is not my Eren. I do not know this guy. The mere fact that this man would think about going along with the Historia thing? No. Hell no. Hell no. Ymir did not go out for this shit. I did not watch Historia grow into this beautiful character for her to get friggin' for her to eat Eren, or, eat Zeke, sorry. For her to eat Zeke and then have somebody eat her 13 years from now. Hell no. I recognize that the council has made a decision. Given that it's a stupid-ass decision, I have elected to ignore it. And I have elected to decide that Eren's lying. I don't think that Eren wants that. I think that Eren's going about some sort of plan that he has in order to save everybody. I still, and maybe this is naive, I still put faith in my boy. Even though I don't recognize this Eren. Even though I need to know what the hell changed so that I can reconcile the fact that my old Eren from the flashbacks this week is in fact the same guy. You know, that old Eren is in there. I need to see the scene where his personality shifted, and even if I don't, that's still Eren Yeager, and he's still my boy. After all these years, you know what I mean? I watched this kid grow from the most infuriating little shit. I hated Eren in season 1, and I watched him grow up, and I was proud of him, and I loved him by season 3, and he's still my boy. And I still put stock in him, even if maybe he's, done some things that maybe aren't the best. Yeah, I don't know. I refuse to believe that he's going to put Historia in any danger at all. Because Historia's Historia, and I refuse to let anything happen to her. Also, she's pregnant, so that's a thing. I think that was very clever, though. Like, I don't think that, like, because when they're like, who cares about their love story? I'm like, oh, I don't think love was involved, homeboy. Like, I don't think that Historia gave two shits about whoever this farm hand is. I think he just, he just happened to be the dude who was there. Because if you ask me, kind of clear Historia and Ymir were, an item. Now, Historia could be bi. Not saying that she's not, but nah, she's gay. So yeah, do I think that she's in love with the farm boy? No. Do I think that was very strategic? Yes. And do I think that Eren maybe let her know to do that? Maybe. All I know is this. Nothing bad better happen to Historia. I still think Eren has a plan, and Zeke and Gabby still gotta go. That said, I've seen some people who are like, why do you hate Gabby so much? Listen, if Gabby can grow like Eren did, I'm all here for it. But as of right now, as an anime only, episode 10 of the final season, nah man, screw Gabby. She still sucks. And yeah, Zeke, listen, Zeke's incredibly entertaining. I love Zeke. I also love to hate Zeke, and he killed my man Erwin, so he's gotta die. Same thing with Gabby. She killed Sasha, and before anybody says what about Reiner? What about Reiner? Yeah, Reiner too. Reiner killed Marco. Marco's one of my favorite characters in the show. It's just that I sympathize and understand Reiner because Reiner kind of has a split personality. So you know what I mean? Reiner kind of is a special case, and he didn't like any part of that. Whereas Zeke didn't give two shits, and Gabby really didn't care because, she's been brainwashed and shit. So I get it, but I hate them, so it'd be like that. Also, Falco went through the same brainwashing and he wouldn't pull that shit, so don't even give me that. With that said, everybody, that's gonna wrap up today's video here. This one was much more rambly than usual. I apologize for that. You'll forgive me. It's Valentine's Day at the time of recording, so my thoughts are kind of elsewhere. But anyway, with that said, everybody, it's gonna wrap up today's video. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to boop that up snoot, share if you care, leave a comment down below, and of course, make sure that you hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, set notifications to all, let all of AniTube know that you're here. And of course, before we go, as always, I want to give a big thank you to the good folks in the T Squadron. Look at these beautiful people. Look at all these beautiful names, and hey, if you would like to join these beautiful people, there are two ways to do so. The first is by hitting that join button right beside the sub button. That gets you a badge next to your name, some emotes to spam in the comments, and of course, your name scrolling past the screen here. Or you can check out that Patreon page in the description. It's a single dollar. You get your name scrolling past the screen, and it helps out your favorite zombie boy immensely. So if you're even thinking about it, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. So once again, a big thank you to the good folks in the T Squadron, and that's it from me, everybody. Again, sorry this one was more rambly. I did have fun recording it, but I don't know if it's gonna be fun to listen to, so let me know in the comments. And anyway, bye!